And here is Angel Reese. Recent upload to her now deleted Instagram account. We're not sure if the deletion of the Instagram is directly related to the response that this video that she posted got, Ronnie t-shirts, or not. But Ron, I want to read you the lyrics to the song that is playing in the background. We, of course, don't have the rights to the music, Ronnie. Okay. But I want to go to this, read it for you. She is lip syncing a song. The lyrics are, "Kiss him when he's I made more money last year than Mr. Drummond." Which is, I mean, those are some pretty tight lyrics. I mean, I'm pretty sure that at least from the Chicago Sky, she was a lot closer to Mrs. Garrett's salary. So I'm not, I guess Mr. Drummond money came from her endorsements, Ron. But yeah, let's just leave that up there. Let's just run that on a loop a few more times. Can you do me a favor? She was almost naked, Ron. Like any KKID naked.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, there she is.
Those lyrics,
like the rookie of the year there. Let me tell you that.
Well, listen, I can tell you right now, I'd much rather watch her do this than watch her play basketball.
Do you think that when she goes to get in the bed, she misses it and lands in the floor?
So favor I want you to do the lyrics that you said she's singing.
Yeah.
Do it in Jerry Jones' voice. Do it in a Jerry Jones voice for me.
Oh wow. Okay. Here, let me try.
You want to kiss him when he's and I made more money last year than Mr. Drummond, and I really did too, because you don't even know what kind of investments I have. I couldn't pay Dak Prescott with Philip Drummond money.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's bring Jerry Jones into this. Ron, I don't even know where to go. I'm glad that pleases you so much. I don't even know where to go with Angel Reese at this point. You know, again, I've said it before. She can't make up her mind. She loves being famous. Yep. She loves making money. She loves showing off and flaunting her body. And look, she's got a body to flaunt if she wants to. I'm not a prude. That's her decision, okay? She's an attractive young lady. But having said all that, she still can't make up her mind, can she, if she wants to be the villain? Remember when she cried and said that she was being sexualized by people and
objectified?
It hurt her so much to be objectified. Well, I don't know. Make up your mind. I mean, you know, at least that part of it, the being objectified and sexualized, you're probably contributing to it when you post pictures of yourself with your jubblies all hanging out in your lingerie.
Jubblies?
Is that not just common sense?
I've never heard the term jubblies. I've never heard.
I think that was an Austin Powers reference there. Yeah, that goes back to the great Austin Powers. Ron, I don't know, man. Like, she loves being in the news. She seems to. I get the feeling that she's one of those people who really low-key loves controversy. She has to be. Because if she really didn't like controversy, some of this stuff she probably wouldn't do, I would imagine. And now she's deleted her Instagram account. I don't know if she got her feelings hurt or, you know, who knows if maybe she just deactivated it. I don't know. But if she wants to post more of this kind of content, then by God, as a red-blooded American male, I say, Angel Reese, you pursue your dreams and keep posting content. I'm here for it. More likely to watch that than a WNBA game, probably, at least unless Caitlin Clark is playing.
Yeah, I said it while I said it while it was up, dude. I'd much rather watch that than watch her play a WNBA game any day of the week. So if she wants to, I mean, what's next for her? OnlyFans? Like, I don't know. It seems like
maybe the next thing for her is to put her hair in some pigtails, get some short pant overalls, and take a cow to somebody's house, Ron. I don't know. Have a look at this. I said, when a cute Swiss girl with a cow shows up on your front lawn, do you want to be wearing regular pants or do you want to be wearing some motherfucking game changers? And both of those guys chose option B. Why don't we have pants like that just readily available for the American man in 2025, Ron?
Yeah, like who decided that plaid? Who decided plaid wasn't a thing anymore?
Yeah, what was wrong with plaid? What did plaid do?
Yeah.
To fall out of favor? I mean, we'll still get shirts, but what about the breeches? Ron, is what I say. I don't know, Ron. Those guys probably got high later. It was the 70s after all. They definitely had a threesome, let's be honest. We'll just address the elephant.
Or hey, there was a cow there, maybe a foursome.
Oh Jesus! Well, was it West Virginia? I don't know where they were located.
Germany?
Was that Kentucky? Well, okay. Well, Germany. Everything's on the table if it was Germany. The cow might not be the worst thing that you could think of there. Ron. Dylan Gabriel, I was talking about them getting high, and I was going to make one of my patented smooth segues to Dylan Gabriel. I don't know if you've seen this video or not. Let's go to this viral clip right now. He was getting interviewed ahead of the Rose Bowl, and some people, based on this response that he gave to a question he received, some people were speculating that he might have been toked up a little bit. He denies it, but let's take a look at the videotape and let the public decide for themselves.
Could you just fill in the blank? We will beat Ohio State if we do.
Be at our best.
What's your best look like?
Competitive, making plays, being good in situational football. Not for the coach talk, but it's just the reality of the situation. But we love the Rose Bowl. We love warm weather. I think we should play more football on nice grass instead of our artificial stuff. And the more sun, the better. Why do we do it to ourselves? Like, do fans want to sit in the snow and the rain? And let's just make arenas. Let's make domes. Let's do grass. Let's do more fireworks at games. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, all right. So, first of all, if you keep winning, you get domes the next two games. So
I love that.
Did you know that?
I do, or now I do.
Now you do.
But let's continue that evolution. I think that's important.
I think what I'm really hearing right now is that every football game should be played in Hawaii.
Wouldn't that be unreal? I don't think anyone would be mad at it, But maybe just the travel or the travelers. That's tough. But let's find more sun. Let's find more sun.
Dylan, what do you think about the Rose Bowl? I think that you just got to keep living, man. Livin. Watch the leather. You need to you need to leave the two geeks that you're with and get with me, but we can talk about that later. You said earlier, I sent you this, and I was like, have you seen this? And you're like, I just think it's dumb.
I was expecting...
You said it was dumb, but he's definitely acting like a high guy there. I mean, as a stoner, I'm here to tell you, there's definitely some valid suspicion there.
For it to be so when I saw the story at first, I was like, oh wow, I had this expectation in my mind, right, for it to become a story. Like I was expecting to see Spicoli, and I was just like, no man, it was a Tuesday morning or whenever it was, he was just being chill. Like it didn't feel like he was high at all, and plus. To give him some credit,
where did the fireworks comment come from? That was where I kind of thought he tipped over into.
Well, but if you like,
that was so random.
That's a big, because that's a big thing now. Because Ohio State did it against Tennessee, and a lot of the SEC schools do it, where they're starting to do fireworks and stuff like that. But I think it was a tough question. She kind of put him on the spot, like you never want to before the game kind of say that I'm going to beat my opponent, and so. It was kind of a tough question. I think he did the best job he could, but I was expecting Spicoli That's what I was. And so when he came out, it's like, oh, he's just
Well,
being
that's
chill.
a high
He's
bar.
just being chill. He's just being chill.
That's a high bar. I don't know. It's hard to run an offense when you're eating Cheetos and listening to Pink Floyd in the huddle, Ron. I'm not that surprised that they lost after hearing the interview. AI is doing amazing things, Ron, and as you know, I like to dabble with it.
Dude, this is so
the
good.
other night, speaking of cannabis, I was consuming a couple of nights ago, and I like to get in there with Grok. Grok is awesome, man. It is. I have Chat GTP on my phone, but it can't hold a candle to Grok. And I just asked Grok, what if Ric Flair and Bob Ross formed a tag team? And this is what it gave me. The tweet says, I'm just grateful to live in a society where I can smoke legal weed and some goddamn demon in my phone magically answers questions. And so there you are. And Bob Ross is looking formidable there.
Good.
I'm telling you right now.
But
I need to figure out what his finisher would have been called. I probably should ask people to help me with that question. But
you could ask Grok.
I want to live in that. Well, should I ask him now?
Absolutely.
Ask him. I'm on camera and shit.
Well, just
leave it up. Leave it up so I can look at my phone.
Yeah, do. Well, so here. Yeah. So I have to give Grok some credit too because
leave it up. I'm gonna ask Grok.
So this is like this picture is so good. It is visually stimulating with all that color dust in the background. It goes with the outfits that they're wearing. Like this is just so freaking good, and it's amazing that they can do it.
Well, Grok says that Bob Ross's finisher should be called the Happy Little Slam.
There you go.
So at the end, he lifts you up, throws you down. It's a happy little slam. All right, Ron. We're earlier than normal in the program. I normally like to ask you this question when we get to the last 10, 15, 20 minutes of the show, but with an NHL Hall of Famer, the all-time leading American scorer in the history of the National Hockey League coming up just a little bit on the program. Yeah, we got to go ahead and get your stuff out of the way so that we can roll out the red carpet for Mike Modano in just a bit. So with that said, I'd now like to ask you, what the fuck, Ron?
So have you heard of a kid named...
Caught me scratching my nose. Damn it.
Again, I nope.
One of these days, Ron.
No, Ricky, we're people, dude.
It's charming,
we are people.
You say.
We are people with itches and we scratch. This is not a big deal, man.
If you think bottom rung celebrities' noses don't itch, you're sadly mistaken, my friends.
Absolutely.
Because I'm here to tell you, no matter what slight, tiny amount of fame you achieve, your nose will still itch. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Most likely, you have not heard of a kid named Tyler Kolek. And I am going to tell you what Tyler did yesterday. So Tyler's in the G League, and he plays for the Westchester Knicks. And he had himself a game yesterday. It tipped off around 1 o'clock, and he scored 36 points, and he had 11 assists in 40 minutes of playing. And you'd think that's a day, right? It's a day. It's New Year's Day. You did your work, go home, get some snacks, watch some college football playoffs. Well, that is not what happened, Ricky. Parent club, New York Knicks, called him up and said, Tyler, I need you to come from Westchester, and I need you at the Madison Square Garden. It's, I believe, I put it up on, I did Google Maps. I think it was like a 51-minute drive. There you go. 51-minute drive. So not very far. Is.
I love the fact that we're getting the
well, yeah. I mean, we want to put all this in perspective, right? So Tyler at 7:30 checks into the Knicks game in Madison Square Garden, Ricky, after again playing 40 minutes and scoring 36 points and having 11 assists. He ends up playing 12 minutes for the Knicks, 2 points, 4 assists. In the same day, Ricky. That's awesome.
Well, it's pretty impressive. Well, hey, look, man, I used to play basketball for 4 hours a day. when I was in my early 20s. I'm sure he was up to it. You're acting like he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, motherfucker.
No, this isn't an endurance. This isn't a story of endurance or stamina. This is a story of how fucking cool is it that this kid woke up thinking, I'm going to play G League basketball today. And the next thing you know, he's playing in Madison Square Garden that night. That's the story, Ricky.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking incredible.
Cool.
And that was his NBA debut.
I am not sure. I didn't have enough time to do pure investigative reporting, but still such a cool thing.
I had never heard of him.
So my other WTF is, I mean, we got to give credit where credit is due. These second tier, third tier bowl games, they have to do something to make a name for themselves. And so we discussed the Pop-Tart Bowl and how much we love the Pop-Tart Bowl, and talked about the Snoop Dogg Bowl in Arizona. Well, the Cheez-It Bowl's been around for a bit, but something very unique happened at the Cheez-It Bowl. It wasn't yesterday, it's the past couple of days. So we've got some video of that.
Then, by the power of Exit and Chelsea, we now pronounce you husband and wife.
I mean, the ship's captain.
So that's Aaron Doolin and Eric Yates from Frederick, Maryland. They got married at the Cheez-It Bowl, and it was officiated by the Cheez-It mascot.
Well, romance isn't dead, after all, Ron. I thought romance was a thing of the past. I'm learning right now that it clearly is not. Some men just know how to treat their ladies better than others, it would appear. Boy, those will be fun wedding photos for the children to look at one day.
Yeah, where would you like to get married? Any place? Any weird?
Well, I would have liked to have gotten married at the Blue Bonnet Bowl, Ron.
The Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl.
The Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl.
A mainstay of New Year's Eve as a kid. I've tweeted about it, Ricky.
Yes.
It's
true.
It was awesome, wasn't it? Mom and Dad were downstairs doing mom and dad stuff, and I'm upstairs watching my black and white TV, watching the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl. I don't know, Texas Tech and Nebraska. Oh, it's great. Great
It's so
stuff.
different now, man. Look, I like the playoff. I really do. I like the playoff. There should be a playoff. I don't know if we need more than 12 teams, honestly. I think 12 teams is enough. I mean, Alabama was the most aggrieved or whatever, and then Michigan beat them. So Alabama's, they've got 4 losses. They were pissed about being overlooked with 3. Well, you couldn't even beat Michigan either.
South Carolina, same thing, and they got beat by Illinois
at the end of the year. Yeah, so
South Carolina,
really, I mean, we've already seen how some of these, highly seeded, and that may be just a problem in the system in the terms of the way that teams are seeded, but we've seen some of these teams not look very good as it is. I mean, to me, like if your best argument is like we're the 12th best team in the country, go fuck yourself. Go play in a bowl game. See if you can win it. See if somebody gets married at fucking halftime, and try to do better next year. At a certain point, it's enough teams, and to me, 12 teams is enough. We're probably inevitably going to wind up with 16, but
Sure.
Speaking for myself, I can live with 12, Ronnie. A terror attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, leaving 15 people dead, another 30 or so injured. A 42-year-old Army veteran from Texas taking a truck and just gunning it down Bourbon Street in a display of carnage that no one should ever experience or witness. Entirely a tragic situation. The driver then exchanging gunfire with New Orleans police, who were able to hit him and kill him. And now we await the fallout of this. An ISIS flag was recovered at the scene. It is believed by authorities at this time that the individual was not acting alone and that there were others involved in this incident being planned and carried out in New Orleans. And while sports hardly matters in the wake of an event like this, the Sugar Bowl was postponed yesterday. It was supposed to be last night. It has been moved to 3 o'clock this afternoon in New Orleans at the Superdome. Of course, Notre Dame and Georgia slated to play in that one. And let's go now to our college football expert here at OutKick. He is the national senior college football writer. Trey Wallace joins the program right now. And Trey, I expected to be talking about college football with you pretty soon, and didn't foresee this being the first thing that we would talk about, unfortunately.
No. Good morning. Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, man, just what a wild. I've had so many different ways to describe what, Wednesday was to the world, and college football certainly takes a backseat to what happened in New Orleans, a place that I have traveled to and snuck out of my house in Mobile, Alabama to drive an hour and a half down the road to go hang out in New Orleans plenty of times when I was younger, and I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans since then. And just a overall tragic situation. And, you look at it and where we were with college football. It's a tough time, man. It's a city that's been through so damn much. And I think that, just talking with folks on the ground down there, I got friends that still live there. I got people that, working with both programs and the CFP. For that part of it, you had to scramble yesterday. There was no way that game was going to be played last night. There was a lot of thought that they would push it a full 24 hours, meaning that they would play tonight at 8:45 Eastern time. But due to some circumstances with Georgia and Notre Dame and the CFP, they decided to move this game up. They wanted 1 o'clock, but they settled on 4 o'clock Eastern time. And a lot of that has to do with these guys have to turn around. The winner of this game has to turn around, Ricky, and be in Miami on Tuesday. So there's not a lot of recovery time, rest time for the players following this one. So that's why you saw the earlier kickoff compared to 8:45. But yeah, man, thoughts and prayers. We say that shit all the time. I'm tired of saying thoughts and prayers to the folks that are involved in any kind of incident. But they sure need it right now. But the city of New Orleans is strong. They're going to bounce back. I love the folks down there. And yeah, didn't expect to be talking about this today, Ricky.
Yeah, very, very sad news to say the least. And it has certainly cast a dark cloud over the college football playoff. Let's go ahead and pivot and talk about these games, because at the end of the day, we're not the evening news, and we're here to try to bring people some entertainment. So let's try to lean into what we're better at, Trey. We've 3 of the 4 games obviously down. Boise State getting handled by Penn State. They had a couple of moments of friskiness there, but ultimately coming up short. Let's go ahead and begin with the Fiesta Bowl. What's your takeaway from that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, credit to Boise State. I mean, that game was close in the third quarter. Penn State kind of ran away with it there in the fourth. And you look at Boise State's talent, you look at Penn State's talent, the Nittany Lions overwhelmed them. And when you can stop the top running back in the country from getting, 120 yards, something along those lines, you get them underneath that level, you got a better opportunity to win. And, obviously there were times where I thought Boise State could have took advantage of the situation, the field position where they were at, and maybe put one in. There were field goals, there was, interceptions, there were fumbles. It was a weird game for Boise State, but credit to old James Franklin for pulling this one through. He's got a tough one now. That was he's played SMU, they played Boise State. Okay, now they got to go to Miami and play either Georgia or Notre Dame. So I thought it was a fun way to kick things off. It's just unfortunate that the fourth quarter kind of made folks probably tune it out a little bit. But yeah, credit to Penn State, man. They won the game and now they move on. And again, they'll head to sunny Miami next week, which will be interesting.
The game of the playoffs so far, and it's not even close,
Absolutely,
was the Peach Bowl. And you almost called the upset, Trey. You had Arizona State to win. I wasn't so sure about it when you said that. I did go ahead and take them in the points, so thank you for the small increase to my bank account today because you inspired me to go ahead and ride with the Sun Devils at that level. Man, first of all, Cam Skattebo. I think this kid made more fans yesterday. I mean, the MVP of the game in defeat, which you hardly ever see. Jerry West did that one time in the NBA Finals years ago. That's a pretty rare thing to see, but good Lord, was that kid out there leaving everything on the field. It was actually inspiring to watch, I got to tell you.
First time in 28 years, you saw an MVP like that go to the losing team. And Cam Skattebo deserved it all. I mean, my dude was trucking through defenders, pushing defenders when you thought it was dead. He's in the backfield throwing dimes down the sideline. I mean, you got it all from this young man. And, in my opinion, he should have been in New York City as well as a Heisman Trophy finalist. Go look at the yards that he put up this past season. Arizona State, man, they had the opportunities to win the football game. That's the gist of it. A couple field goals that go the wrong way. You look at the way that Texas. I told you guys, I didn't. There were times where I know Quinn Ewers connected on a few passes that were, ridiculous. But at the same time, he played not good football against Arizona State for a majority of the game there. And I looked at Arizona State, Ricky, and I was like, this is a squad. They got a badass quarterback who just is going to put his helmet down and get after a defender. You got a running back that, not holding anything back, on the field. And you got a head coach, Kenny Dillingham, that's going to take risk. And they took risk. I don't know if that fake punt was designed to be a fake punt. I think the probably the specialists took a little bit of advantage of an open situation. Credit to them, by the way. But at the end of the day, man, it's been the best CFP game that we have had so far. And it came in Atlanta. And I thought that Arizona State, I thought they did enough to win. Just came up short right there in overtime. Credit to Texas. But Texas Longhorns, man, I have been off on them all season long because I just don't trust their offense. Well, boy, they've got themselves an opponent next week in Dallas. I don't care if that thing is being played in the Longhorns' backyard. When you get Ohio State, and I know we're going to talk about it, they better figure out how to stop, a rushing attack, a passing attack, because the Buckeyes are headed to Dallas, Texas, and they are a pissed off football team.
Trey, I know it's too late to change now, but and this might sound like some meatball, I don't know what I'm talking about question, a casual fan question, but is Texas starting the right quarterback? Is Arch Manning better than Quinn Ewers right now?
He is he's the $4 million quarterback. So that I don't know. We have seen glimpses of Arch Manning this year. Okay. And I think Arch Manning is going to be the dude at Texas. Obviously next year he's going to be the starting quarterback. When I say the dude, I think the guy's going to put up a hell of a lot of numbers. I think there are times where Steve Sarkisian is very loyal to Quinn Ewers, and that has bit him in the ass a number of times. If we get to a spot next week in Dallas at Jerry's World, and you're getting that type of performance from Quinn Ewers, and you're trying to go to the national championship game back in Atlanta, on January 20th, you got to make a decision. Is it going to be Arch time? Do we put Arch in there? Do we try to figure this thing out with Manning at quarterback and not Ewers? Like it's a tough decision for Steve Sarkisian, and I get that part of it. But at the same time, man, Quinn Ewers, besides a couple of passes yesterday, just did not look like the quarterback that everybody thought he would be before the season started, and the one that got a high NFL grade, but before we kicked off. So, Ricky, to answer your question, brother, I think that you would probably see Manning next week if you're getting this type of performance from Quinn Ewers, and if that's the case, no hard feelings. We have seen this happen in other games. I mean, some of it was due to injury, some of it was due to players not performing well. You look at the Jalen Hurts and Tua situation at Bama, flip-flopping in back-to-back years. I just think they better figure this thing out. And if they want to win a national championship, they're going to have to get Arch involved in some form or fashion, Ricky.
Last one for you here, Trey. Ohio State just laid the wood to the undefeated 13-0 Oregon Ducks, the same Oregon Ducks who beat them at home by a point what feels like forever ago. It probably really feels like forever ago to the Oregon team today. What do you make of that? You and Ronnie talked earlier this week about how talented Ohio State is if they play at their best, and they certainly did that. How much of yesterday's game was Ohio State being maybe the best team in the country, and how much of it was Oregon shitting the bed?
Oregon didn't shit the bed. Oregon got exposed on defense. And then you add on to the fact, like, Oregon's kind of been teetering, for a majority of the season on the defensive side. Like, we've seen what they've been doing offensively with Dylan Gabriel and Tez and whatnot. I could go on and on. But Ohio State, that is a different animal right now. That Michigan loss ignited a fire in this football team. I wrote about it after the Tennessee game. I was like, the best thing that happened to Ohio State after just beating up on the Vols was they got to get out of Columbus for a couple of days and get away from all the talk about Ryan Day and everything. And you know what? They took all of that to heart. That is a pissed off football team. They have talked about it for the last 2 weeks. They're aggravated. They wanted to go out and make a point. That was not the same Buckeyes team that played against Michigan, and they have proved it. You have got receivers flying around the field uncovered. You can't stop Jeremiah Smith. You can try if you want. You got I'm not even talking about Ibuka. You got a rushing attack with Quinshawn and Trayvon that are absolutely tearing up opposing defenses. And you know what? You got an agitated football team. And I'll say that again. When you got a team that has their backs against the wall and they want to come out and they want to prove a point, Oregon, it looked like yesterday that we were going to get the same thing that we saw in the first round in Columbus, and we did. Like, Oregon had no answers. When you're up, 24-0? At one point, it was 34, and then Oregon scores like a touchdown to try to get back in it. That was just an ass whooping. And I think this is a football team that if they continue to play like this, because they have Ricky, they got so many weapons, man, on offense. That's why Texas is going to struggle next week against Ohio State, because they're going to have to figure out, who the hell do I cover? And that's going to leave somebody open. If Will Howard continues to play like this, a quarterback, and if Chip Kelly keeps calling this type of offense, Ohio State will be raising the national championship trophy in 3 weeks. I have no doubt in my mind about that. This team is playing out of their mind right now. And it's not like it's some gift from God as to why they're playing like this. They are just mad. They're upset. You can see it in the trenches. They're clobbering their opponents. And you know what? The Ducks were just quacked out of their mind yesterday because Ohio State came out and they just kept hitting them and hitting them and hitting them.
Trey, I lied to you. I'm going to ask you one more question here.
I don't care, man. I got all day, brother.
What are the odds that next year we don't have the automatic seeding of conference champions in the top four? And if Arizona State had won yesterday, could that could that have been a factor in it not happening?
So they will meet, and when I say they, conference commissioners, the CFP, you'll have some ADs, some presidents in there. They will meet in Atlanta during the week of the national championship game, and they will discuss what the future looks like. I think we get something, and in talking with folks about this that are involved, I think we get something regarding the seeding, Ricky, before we get something regarding expansion of the playoffs. Because they're going to have to figure out a way to either reseed these teams, figure out who gets the automatic bye. Like the automatic buys go to the best 4 teams in the country, not just in their opinion, not just because you won the Mountain West, not just because you won the Big 12. Who are the best 4 teams in the country? And then go from there. I think the seeding part has been discussed a lot, and I completely understand it. In Oregon's case, you go 13-0. And the first team that you play in the quarterfinals is Ohio State. So I feel like they got to figure out a way around that. I think that they will. A lot of the discussion, I've been told, that will go down in Atlanta and 2 weeks from now before the national championship is going to be, okay, did we screw up with how we do the seeding? How can we fix it? And then I think that there could potentially be a change before next season. If not next season, it will be by 2026. But there are a lot of agitated people that have their opinions out there that are on this, the committee, and also a lot of conference commissioners that, there's really just 2, Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti from the Big Ten, the SEC. They feel like, maybe some potential reseeding and how they do it should be fixed. So I think we find out here in a couple of weeks, Ricky, if we're going to head down that road next season. If not, definitely by 2026. But I agree with you, man. They gotta figure out how they're going to navigate these teams 1 through 4. And then, okay, let's go 5 through 12, whoever the best teams are from there. But I think we find out soon, brother.
All right, Trey, man. Thank you, as always, for everything. Appreciate the insights, and especially your insights on what's going on in New Orleans.
Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate you guys having me. Happy New Year to you. Thoughts and prayers. Again, thinking of everybody in New Orleans. And we get another football game today. So I will, that is a bright side out of all of this. Georgia Notre Dame will take the field today at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll have you covered at OutKick.com. Thanks, Ricky.
Hey, OutKick fans on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and make your way over to OutKick.com where you can watch the full episode.